consoles, yeah. So lame.
That's why I bought Left 4 Dead. I had it on console, but I bought
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2 on the PC because of that.
Right? And then just with Steam, you can like download all these cool maps and stuff. It's crazy.
My favorite's the Haunted Mansion map, because I love going on the Haunted Mansion, just shooting zombies.
Yeah.
Alright guys, we're live.
Oh, it's cool.
Alright. I know, right? Alright, cool.
Cue crazy build-up music.
Oh, it's what
Dude,
We're going to talk about HNU, the future Halloween Fest 2015. Speaking of 2015, this year Marty McFly comes back. Dun 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 dun. Marty, for the year 2015.
oh my gosh, dead. I'm dead now. Thanks, Rally. I won't be able to do this now.
Alright, well, hello everybody. This is the Horror Nights Updaters podcast, and I'm Aaron, and I'm joined today by our newest member, David.
Hey guys.
Hey, David.
And,
I am crazy.
Kill yourself, David. You're in the mood.
and today we're lucky enough to have two guest updaters, Tristan Edwards, HHNFAN16. You might have heard of him.
I hope so. I hope so.
I mean, with like 2,000 people.
Right.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Right.
And Rally Hooper, SomeOtherGuyUser. Maybe you've heard
Hi,
of him
guys.
too. One of the original updaters.
Yeah.
Whoa, we got one viewer.
I think it's Feral Barbish.
You had more viewers than me, so what does that say about me? Like, I watched myself. So, today we're going to talk about Six Flags Fright Fest, and
Yeah.
Of course, man.
We threw
Well, it's Horror Nights 2013, which is true, honestly.
but seriously, we're going to talk about Halloween Horror Nights 2015 and our predictions of what will come to the event and the updates that have been released thus far by Murdy.
Cool.
And
clear on standby.
So let's just talk about Universal Studios Hollywood in general and how it's like 90% construction walls.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, the park is just, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I'm pretty stoked that Springfield's going to open soon, so when Springfield opens, I think it will open up a little bit more room for the park
So
itself.
much more, and that'll help so much with Horror Nights with their dining options.
The one thing that I'm worried, the one thing that I was worried about Horror Nights is how they do the opening ceremony is, you know how House of Horror's closed, they have the walls up, obviously for the deconstruction of the building of the House of Horror. So I was curious if those walls will still be up during Horror Nights, and I was thinking it's just going to be chaos. There already is chaos during Horror Nights, but now it's just going to be even worse. Like, people are going to die. I'm serious. Like,
Dude, people are going to crash into those walls and then it's just going to all come
Yeah.
down.
It's going to feel like a Slipknot concert. People are going to be like, ah! Just like that.
People like throwing their beers
So,
across the area, and people getting
Right?
like
I was like,
people smoking pot and
That-
weed.
yeah, woo! So that's the only thing that I was kind of curious about how they're going to do that. And, I mean, we'll see, obviously, but I think...
Yeah, what I read on Inside Universal is that they're going to have that structure and building done by 2016. So what I think they could do, and hopefully they do this, is that they might get the front area done, so that way they can like expand the walls to where they'll have more footprint, and maybe they can work in the building. I don't know, but it's just speculation.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth throwing out there, but, you know, just how they do, I mean, just how, like, it's already crowded as it is without those walls there, and I can't imagine now, because, like, when they did Grinchmas, you know, I went to Grinchmas, and it was chaos. It was so crowded just in Grinchmas. I mean, how is Horror Nights going to be? I don't even think they can fit people in there. That's I'm just like, I don't even know.
and they got Wizarding World of Harry Potter on the side, so
Yeah.
constructed. So you've got this kind of tunnel neck of people all trying to get to mazes and the territory.
Yeah.
That's gonna kill it.
So
It's gonna be nuts, man.
I actually saw this on Twitter. Somebody was asking about this.
Uh-huh.
So Springfield is going to be finished in about a few weeks. We're
Right.
pretty much at the finish line for that, and you know, we have Moe's and Duff Brewery that are going to be selling alcohol. Do you guys think that Halloween Horror Nights here in Hollywood will start selling alcohol at the event?
Oh no, because Rowley had to deal with the crazy guy on the.
I mean,
Remember that one, Rowley?
having gone to Orlando, and alcohol really does a lot of really brings the level of the guests down dramatically. There are a lot of noobs and a lot of morons and idiots that roam around the park. And I saw one time, there's an outhouse like in like one of the Sprungtown houses. I saw one guy like I went to the outhouse, and then this other drunk guy like was pounding the door. It's like, ah, I'm sorry. Ran off, and all the drunk kids are laughing so hard, and I thought that guy's a freaking idiot.
So it was Six Flags.
Oh,
So yeah.
health
I mean,
reasons as well.
here's the thing. I mean, we all have like valid points, but I mean, it wouldn't. I don't think Horror Nights has a strict policy of no alcohol at the event. So I don't think just because they open Springfield, they're gonna sell alcohol, because you could buy alcohol at other places as well, at just a little, you know. So I don't think just because Springfield opens, they'll sell alcohol. I think they just won't.
True.
I mean,
Well, the other thing
it's just like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, one of the things my parents noticed when they went to Orlando is because the alcohol dehydrates you, you're going through very congested maze lines full of body heat. That's going to dry you out so fast. People are going to be hacking out. And people are going to be puking. But
So basically, all the lines smell like Clowns 3D.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that.
So,
It's bad.
health reasons, I don't think it's a good idea that they sell alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I'm on the boat. They shouldn't sell alcohol, but I have an idea for a system. And if these systems they really want to sell, make the alcohol money. I've got an idea here. What they could do is they could have a little stand in front of the park, since the policy is once you're out for the night. They can have a stand that gives out wristbands. If you want to buy booze, you have to go up to the stand, show them your ID, and they'll give you a wristband. And obviously, once you get inside the park, you cannot buy booze without the wristband. And once you have, every time you buy a cup of beer, they'll stamp a hole. They'll stamp a hole in your wristband. And if you have 2 holes in the wristband, then you're done for the night. No more booze.
Isn't that what Orlando does? I think they do that.
I don't.
I mean, I didn't buy any alcohol there, so I don't know.
But then it goes against their whole previous statement of once you're inside, there's no way out.
Right.
Once you're inside, there's no way out unless you're drunk. Unless
And
you're drunk,
then
go get out.
And then fine print under that says, unless you want booze. So maybe you have to get these very fine print.
I find it funny how our Duff Brewery is right next to this giant escalator, so they're basically sending drunk people to go die. They're gonna be like tumbling down that thing.
Oh Lord, yeah.
So.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. I think that would be more entertaining than Clowns 3D would. I mean, that'd be crazy to see people fall down. Like, oh! But no. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think they will sell it. Or the only thing that I could think of is if something with like the VIP scare zone last year, for example, they like had it cut off from anybody else. So let's say, like Rowley said with the wristband, maybe they'll have like a section of the park where you can only drink in that section, and that's it.
Oh, true.
Knott's did that a few years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Knott's did that with, like, the cantina or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's the only way. It's really the only way you can regulate alcohol at Horror Nights is either you put them in a section or they just don't sell alcohol at all.
Or like I said, like half the stand, we got to find an alcohol wristband outside the park. And if you go inside the park and you forget to get it, then no booze for you.
I think it would probably be better just to put people, just leave them inside the park instead of having to deal with wristbands, because you never know how people are. They can rig it some way. There's always a loophole in something.
because if you put it inside the park, you know, some guy can get his 2 drinks and then go back to rip it off and go back to the stand and say, "Hey, I didn't get a wristband. Can you give me another one, man?"
Yeah.
See? Alright, well, therefore, alcohol is
Loopholes
black.
everywhere.
It doesn't exist. Yeah, it's just, alcohol doesn't exist. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, we'll just have to figure it out when the time comes, but I don't think just because Springfield opens and they sell alcohol during the day, they're going to expand that. To me, I don't think alcohol will be, you know, available at Horror Nights. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
And, you know, the event is so crowded as it is, and people are already rowdy as it is without alcohol in their system. Yeah. And some people get jacked up before they even go into Horror Nights. So, I mean, I don't think alcohol is just, nothing against anybody that does that. I'm just saying, you know.
So using alcohol, I'll use that to segue into this next thing. Universal is currently planning to open a new Fast and Furious tram segment.
Ooh.
In the summer. Do you guys think that there will be an express tram like they did with Kong back in 2010, but for Fast and Furious this year?
Maybe.
Well, Ernie did say on Twitter that there's like any room to load people on there, so I don't know.
But I mean, we all know that, you know, Fast and Furious is like the biggest franchise for Universal. You know, and I think obviously with the previous death of Paul Walker and things like that, it's already attracting more people, and it might get to the point where they might have to do that just for the reasons of it's so popular, you know? I mean, you're working with a franchise that's the most successful in Universal, you know? It's just... Yeah. I think they may do it just for crowd reasons, but then again, who knows? I mean...
I think they're going to do it anyway. Like, they're going to find... The event needs to expand capacity-wise desperately. They're going to have to just one, the popular demand, and two, they need the capacity. That would do wonders for in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be really. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just gonna say, yeah, the event definitely in general, whether it's Universal during the day or Horror Nights during the evening, definitely needs to find a way to kind of split up most of the crowds that do come into the park during the evening. So I would
make them walk to the back lot.
Yeah, make them.
Oh my gosh,
which would work. But I mean, if they have an express tram for that, I'm all for it. If it splits up the crowds, kind of evens out the crowds a little bit, I'd be all for that. And it worked.
I agree.
I noticed it. It worked when Kong had an express tram. I did notice more organized lines, less of a rush, and more congested areas got split up a little bit. So if that happens again with Fast and Furious, I'm all for it. So yeah.
I mean, I think that's a valid point, and I think, you know, dividing the crowds if it's possible, I think that's the best way to do it. You know, I think that's great.
Especially how popular Horror Nights is getting.
Right.
We've definitely seen a definite increase. No thanks to The Walking Dead.
And now, I mean, and they're just working with bigger and bigger properties. You know, they're starting to work with like. Right, I mean, you're working with big movies and, you know, obviously TV shows, and then they're working with musicians. I mean, you got to work with Slash last year, even though his maze wasn't too good. I'm just saying, you know, you got to work with Slash, you know? I mean, that's crazy. So, I just think, you know, the more popular the event gets is because of what is being featured at the event based on the intellectual properties and things like that. I don't think especially for... You know, I think Orlando's more pays attention to the original concepts, I should say, more than Hollywood. So I feel like Hollywood attracts more due to the intellectual properties, more than the original.
Exactly.
So.
I do
everybody probably groaned when they heard The Walking Dead. They're like, oh, not that again.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
Bring it back this year or kind of make it right. We can probably expect to see it again in the future.
I think it's coming back this year.
Just like a good zombie, you can't kill it.
I think I think it will be its last year. I think both. I think it's going to be a shared property this year. Just my opinion. I could be wrong, could be right, but at this point, it's speculation. But
Yeah.
I just really hope they change it up because last year was the exact same thing as the year before.
yeah,
I remember.
it was. I mean, they changed like 3 rooms. They changed the storeroom with the big spot. I believe that's what it's called, big spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't watch the
Move this
so.
canister over here. We'll call it a new maze.
Yep.
Just like shifted props around.
Right. That's awesome. But yeah,
I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. Like aside from Terminus, I don't see them being able to work with a lot this year from Walking Dead. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I am not a fan of the TV show. I watched up to season 2, and I said later the show got really boring. And then with Horror Nights repetitively just doing the maze over and over, just turned me away. It honestly just turned me away. I was like, later. So I know a lot of people are all like rumoring right now. They signed a contract with The Walking Dead. I don't know. I think Murdy's just doing it because he knows it's very popular.
Dude, because the merchandise sells like crazy.
Right?
That's why all the merchandise was The Walking Dead.
Which I
Back in
hate.
2013, and Gnome City's shirt. Like, oh my god.
I wanted it in
That's all I wanted.
so bad.
Right?
Something good. Something
I'm not
good.
Wait, what is Riley saying?
I was saying I got my American Werewolf shirt, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, they actually listened for once, because back in 2013, it's like, hey, do you guys have any Insidious shirts? And like,
No.
cashier's like, no, but we got like these 5 separate Walking Dead shirts.
Yeah,
And,
no
$40
thanks.
poster.
My friend who was working at she was working at Universal, and
Right.
she always lets me know when the new shirts come in, and she sent me a picture,
Right.
and I was really excited, and I looked at it, and my heart just dropped. It's all Walking Dead stuff.
You're like,
I got those all in 2012. Stop, Universal.
Universal.
I mean,
So-
really, I've got
Nope.
3 pins that are all Walking Dead, like
Yeah.
2013, and the 2014 pin. They're all Walking Dead, and I'm like, I want something different.
I think so too. And I think if American Horror Story, with how heavily rumored it's been to come to the event this year, I think they may take advantage of that and maybe lay back on The Walking Dead and maybe focus on American Horror Story more.
Yeah.
Especially because, obviously it's the fan base of American Horror Story is increasing very much. It's getting to the point where it's just as popular as The Walking Dead. Obviously, Walking Dead's superior. It's just way up there. But it's coming to that point where it's getting to that, So, I don't know. It's just kind of my theory.
Doesn't
I hope it...
doesn't
Good?
doesn't the new season have
Lady Gaga.
the new season has Lady Gaga, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, it's happening. She's coming to Horror Nights.
Bro, guess what? She's gonna wear that meat dress. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Did I hear somewhere
Dude,
that
honestly...
Walking Dead dropped a bit or something?
What's up?
Did I hear somewhere that Walking Dead's viewership dropped a little bit?
It wouldn't surprise me. It's like the same thing every season.
And this is coming from someone who loves The Walking Dead. I do agree. It's kind of dropped a little bit.
I don't know. I think it's time for The Walking Dead. You can only milk it so far, You can only stretch the whole Walking Dead idea so far. And it's coming to the point where it's just like everybody... It's just the same as the previous season, It's just like there's no story progressing, I feel.
Yeah.
But...
And I think even general goers to Horror Nights are starting to kind of catch on that it's just like, well, we've seen this already. Like...
Right.
The thing is,
Let's move on
the
from
thing is what they're trying to do, what I've noticed is that the reason why they announced Walking Dead so early was because they wanted to get all the fans of the show to fly out there to see it. And I'm starting to think that the
Right.
general are the Walking Dead fans that came to the event just to see the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So I fear that they don't want it. I fear like there's a possibility they might bring it back because the Horror Nights fans, I said in quotations, are expecting the Walking Dead to come back like it's the flagship property. Like, no, we go to Horror Nights just for the Walking Dead.
Yeah, but you can only milk it so far.
Yeah.
At this point, Horror Nights is only using The Walking Dead, and then I'm not bashing Universal Horror Nights. I'm just saying the truth. They're only using The Walking Dead. They're only using The Walking Dead for money. We all know that. I mean, Rowley just made a valid point. They advertise it all over, the TV, radio,
The Walking Dead
everywhere.
presents Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great way to get money. I mean, obviously more money means more budget for the next year. I mean, that's obvious. But then again, it doesn't feel like that. But who knows?
I think though
Who just-
at this point, so it doesn't really the event doesn't really need something like The Walking Dead to stand on its own.
Not anymore. No. I mean,
I
they
think-
never really had that. I never needed it.
I think the problem is Murdy's probably afraid that another event will probably pick that up. Because imagine if Knott's had The Walking Dead.
Oh God, it would blow Horror Nights out of the water though. But here's the thing. We all know Knott's doesn't, license films. They don't, base their mazes off intellectual properties and things like that.
Yeah.
They have done in the past, but they didn't. It was more of an original take on the intellectual property. Like, what's that maze that they did? Quarantine.
Oh God, that doesn't exist.
I'm just saying, right? But I'm just saying it was, an somewhat original take on it, I guess. They were trying their best to replicate it more than license.
Actually, the only part I got scared in that maze is when the body falls from the top floor.
honestly, the only thing I got scared by is looking at the line for that maze. The maze was garbage.
The one IP maze they actually did a really good job in was The Grudge. That was pretty good.
I was actually thinking about that.
Yeah.
The Grudge is really good. That scared the hell out of me.
I don't see why AMC would want to partner with Knott's. Obviously at this point it's just all what we're talking about. But I'm just saying,
like, theoretically.
Yeah.
I mean, like, imagine if they do another interactive, like, zombie thing, but with the Walking Dead IP.
That would be interesting though. I think that would.
Well, if you
You should become a creative director. I'm just kidding.
If you're gonna keep The Walking Dead, don't do the maze again.
Do something new.
Keep it on the back lot. Kind of spice it up a little bit. That way, you still have The Walking Dead. People are still gonna come to the event, but you don't have it as a maze. You've got that room to make something else. You can still kind of promote it, and it's there, but it's not going to be a maze, which I think people.
Yeah. Or what I think is not do a scare zone. What I think is they maybe could still do the Walking Dead maze, because obviously Horror Nights is known for the mazes. People aren't really going to go to see a scare zone based off Walking Dead. Let's just be for real. So if they do a maze but don't do a scare zone and don't do a terror tram, I think that could be more realistic to bring the Walking Dead, not as heavily, promoted, I should say.
Yeah. Have it as one.
I would like to see something else down in the back lot, like as a scare zone. I think it'd be cool to see maybe something like The Purge. I know The Purge has been rumored, but
I honestly don't know why they didn't put The Purge down there.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's such a perfect opportunity, especially with the movie.
And I mean,
the city streets, so you could have done.
Yeah, I mean, you're going into Cityscape. The back lot, the New York Metro sets is a Cityscape, so hey. It would feel more realistic than putting them out on New York Street up in the upper lot.
Yeah. So, speaking of the back lot, I think we can all agree the way they handled it last year was kind of a mess, making us walk back there, and then the way they handled lines was really bad.
I think why they did it is maybe.
Just crowd control, really.
That's what I'm thinking too. But I don't know. I mean, crowd control doesn't really work when AVP was almost 3 hours. So.
I I mean,
I don't think crowd control's working too good.
I mean, when you put The Walking Dead and AVP in the same area,
Right?
begging for
The hell out of
crowd
it.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they need to stop putting so many people in the event. Because, let's be for real, let's say AVP was 3 hours, which it did almost get up to at one point. That's pretty much half your night just for one attraction. So, if you do general admission, you won't be able to do everything. There's just no way you'll be able to do it.
They need to have more shows, period.
Yeah.
I agree, the show, when...
Bring back
yeah,
Slaughter
no.
World.
That would be cool. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, anything can happen this year.
That theater holds like 2,000 people. They need to put a show in Waterworld.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think, for the 10th anniversary, I think Nerdy knowing that it's the 10th anniversary, he's gonna... I'm praying that he's going to listen to the fans and really see what they want.
Dead.
But, yeah. Wait, accept that, okay?
Dremit just posted that John would cry if Greg Nicotero left him.
Horrible.
Speaking of big anniversaries, John Murdy recently tweeted that he's finally going to get a property that he's been wanting to get for a while, and it's not considered typical horror.
Yeah. It's,
well, go ahead.
Oh, he just said, I don't think there's any way you'll be able to predict this last maze properly. It's way outside the typical box of horror. Way outside. It's Doctor Who.
Oh, God.
Doctor Who.
Angel, Cybermen.
I know a lot of people when he said this is a property that he's been wanting to get for a while. I know a bunch of people jumped to conclusions. Is this The Exorcist? No, it's not. It's not. Murdy confirmed. He some person asked on Twitter on the feed, and they asked, "Is this like a property, that we've been wanting to see?" And he said, "Unknown, really." So The Exorcist, would be something that we would want to see.
Face it, The Exorcist would be very difficult to realize in a
experience
because most of the film takes place in one room.
Right.
With one specific character, it would be very
Clowns.
difficult to create.
Just kidding.
Just have clowns. It just have clowns scattered around. There we go. We'll just fill up for a second. I mean, I guess you could have a statue of Pazuzu just staring at people as they come in, but other than that,
that would be kind of creepy. But
I could totally see that in the maze, like Murdy designing. It's just like a room with black walls and just Pazuzu right there.
And
black walls and strobes everywhere.
Right. And 3 black walls. Oh my god. I mean,
yeah.
I just hope this year, because I wasn't really impressed with the maze lineup last year. I really was not too impressed. I mean, AVP was cool.
Besides AVP and American Werewolf, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything else kind of just was like, eh. Hold on,
I'm still waiting on Trick or Treat.
Oh, cool. God, thanks, Eric. Eric just messaged me on Facebook. Thanks!
I'm still waiting for Resident Evil.
Properly done.
You know what? What if that property that's not really horror is actually Resident Evil that Murray's talking about?
Well, Resident
Man, that would
he
be
bases
awesome.
it off 6, which is purely action.
Do the mansion. Is it really that difficult? Just do the mansion.
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to do it because nobody knew what was going on in the Silent Hill maze.
What?
Okay.
It's this guy having chips on his head.
I hated the Silent Hill maze.
Non-believer.
Hate me all you want. I hated it.
We're beyond that point.
Yeah.
I liked that maze just because it was just full of Easter eggs.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, if you were like
Easter
a, if
eggs
you're a
everywhere.
big fan of the gaming franchise of Silent Hill, then yeah, it'd probably be pretty good.
I really liked it because it was one of the few mazes like at the end of the night, I was the only person in that entire maze, and everything went out for me. Like, like it was at the end of the night, so it was one of the scariest experiences I've been through because I was literally the only.
Not me. How's that?
Until you have two pyramid heads chasing you through the maze. That
That was pretty cool. Okay, here's my question to you: what is your least favorite scare zone ever at Horror Nights? I want to know.
Trying to think. I think there was one really bad one. Anything in the lower lot. Anything in the lower lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, scratch
No.
that. Yeah. He's
I
right.
think Skulls was the worst I've ever seen. I thought Scarecrows was better than Skulls. Skulls was terrible.
Actually, I think Witches was the worst one. That was like
Oh.
that was 2013,
Oh
right?
wait, yeah, I did.
There was like
yeah,
one
it was
witch
2013.
walking around. I was like, "There's nobody in here but
No,
me."
wait,
Wait, was it? No, it was Witches was 2012, I believe.
Was it?
La
Oh, see,
Llorona.
that's how little I liked it. I don't even know what year.
Right?
La Llorona.
Because I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no, I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
As bad as the lower lot ones are, La Llorona was terrible because it was literally one La
Oh, yeah,
Llorona
I forgot
in the
about that
Westworld,
one.
and she would spray water at you, but that was it. Like, I'm like, wait, there's only one La Llorona walking around. Like, this is not even terrible.
Hey.
We got the maze because everyone was just like, oh god, the scare zone sucks, so the maze is gonna suck, and then we were pleasantly surprised. But that scare zone was terrible.
The maze was fantastic. Oh
The
my
maze was
gosh.
fantastic.
The scare zone may have been terrible, but like the entire Hispanic community went crazy over that scare
Yeah.
zone.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Cool.
Crazy white man.
Hey, I mean, was La Llorona better than Lady Luck Scare Zone?
Yes. Wait. No, it wasn't.
Hey, tonight.
Lady Luck Scare Zone. Okay, so moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
How many code names has Merdy released? 2, right?
2, yeah, we have Post Punk and Rock Festival.
Yeah.
2 music mazes confirmed.
Oh, Lord.
Illuminati. I'm just kidding.
Kiss and Iron Maiden confirmed right here.
Right? Illuminati. Illuminati confirmed. I'm just kidding. Now that will attract a lot of people to come to the event. Bunch of conspiracy theorists. Woo! Alright. Well, for the code names so far, I don't know if they're shared. I don't think these 2 are shared, but just for the reasons of, I mean, if you're a creative director running a Twitter for a theme park or an event, you're supposed to keep the people involved, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think, just like last year, you know, a codename came out, for example, Malcolm, that's changed into Empire, but, you know, Mike Aiello was like, okay, you know, really involved. If these 2 shared, if they were 2 shared, I think Mike Aiello would have been tweeting something going hand-to-hand with John Murdy. Yeah. I could be wrong, because maybe, I know right now, Post-Punk has been rumored that it could be Insidious or American Horror Story. I can't tell you. I don't know. At this point, it's kind of just play with it.
103 pages. That's the longest maze he's written.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be for real. I mean, TV shows are always going to be more in maze treatment because there's so much more you can work with in intellectual property.
And if it's American Horror Story, you've got 4 seasons to work off.
Right, but I mean, the only thing why I'm not leaning towards American Horror Story is just because if it was, Mike Aiello would have been tweeting with John Murdy saying this is going to Orlando, you know? Yeah. So I don't
well, we know.
Didn't
sharing it.
Didn't Aiello visit Murdy like a week
ago?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
The Walking Dead. No, just kidding. But
I'm out of ammo.
Gaga.
Oh God.
Lady Gaga.
They're probably going to advertise that more than American Horror Story itself.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
American Horror Story is coming, but did you hear Lady Gaga's involved?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. I think that would be more popular than the damn Walking Dead coming. Serious.
She becomes the new icon.
Oh my gosh. She's like for the opening ceremony, she comes out.
I was born this way.
Either that or Poker Face. Is like,
oh my god.
I'd honestly say that Insidious 3 is probably a shoe-in at this point, just because Insidious back in 2013 is to this day still the top-rated maze.
Right.
I mean, going back to the maze, it really wasn't detailed. That's the thing. It was a lot of black walls, if you guys remember, but
with like a chair and like a
scary, super scary.
Loved it.
They did a great job with it.
I mean, they had everything I recognized from the films. No, stop.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, no, I agree with you. I do agree with you. Some parts were just blackable, but
but that's Hollywood.
When you go into the further, sorry, like you freaking Minecraft. When you got into the demon's lair, they had everything. They had the candelabras.
No, they did. I think they were true to the film, and the film is a dark film as it is itself. If you really watch the film, it is dark.
See, Insidious was terrifying when all the effects were actually working.
I was there when it was the first maze I ran to, because it's the one I wanted to go to, and at that point they had still pumping smoke in the further, and it was terrifying. It was terrifying because I couldn't see where I was really going.
Yeah.
And then I came back later and they shut it off for some reason. I don't know why.
Off, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember on preview night, in that further scene where at the end of the room, the old lady's holding the candle.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were supposed to make like a U-turn, so I crashed into the wall because it was so.
Yeah.
I was like, where am I going?
Yeah. I think a lot of the scares were out of the ordinary than the ones we've been used to for Horror Nights. I feel like the scares weren't like, oh, we already know somebody's going to be there, It was something... I think the scares were designed differently than what we were used to, and I think that's why the fans,
The scares were really more on, like...
Yeah.
It made you paranoid, because you didn't know what was in the room with you.
We need more ghost mazes. That's what it comes down to.
What I want Horror Nights to do is, like, when I went to Random Terror, they had a scene where some girls crawling on the floor, and then out of nowhere, some guy like opened the latch and go down. It was amazing, and I don't see why Horror Nights can't do that. Like they did that in Orlando in Cabin in the Woods. Like some guy from the ceiling like reached down from above and tried to grab you, but it was
the ceiling. Whoa. What is this, bungee scares? I want that.
See, and I think Rowley brings up a good point, is that, Horror Nights is kind of getting stagnated in the fact that they use the same type of scares over and over.
Exactly.
Somebody runs out of a door, strobe lights go off, loud noise plays. That's basically all the mazes.
One of the scare tactics.
Go ahead.
Point is the shaky cam, because
about 2 minutes, by the way. So I'll be out shortly.
Oh, no problem.
All right.
Cool, man.
In the Insidious maze, you had the man in black, and he came out and he shook the can at me. I'm like, really? That's it? And I'm like, okay. The second one was more terrifying, but like that guy was just shaking his can. I'm like, well, it's not scary anymore, guys. This is like 2013, not like.
What's funny is, like when you guys talking about like Horror Nights is just this kind of the same. My dad who goes, he doesn't even go a lot. He's not a huge fan of the event. He just goes because I go. But it's funny because he's like, didn't we see this maze last year? Didn't we see this last year? I started laughing. I'm like, no, this is new.
Wait a minute. This is looking familiar.
Right? I just started cracking up. So I understand, you know, it's starting to feel the same, it's just being the same. And I mean, I'm not bashing the event. I still love the event. I still go to the event, but I'm just saying I would like to see some new, fresh ideas for sure.
Yeah, I think the scare tactics alone need a bit of an upgrade.
Of course.
To take some kind of
Who
look
said when?
outside the box, kind of looking at other events, possibly what works, what's different, maybe integrating that with Horror Nights, because at this point, Horror Nights, the scare tactics are predictable. We've seen it before, and I think to evolve with the times, so does the event, and so does the scare acting.
Right.
And I'm not saying that the scare actors are doing a bad job. I think it's the techniques that just need to kind of come up into 2015, 2016, and so on. So
Alright,
I'm
guys, I'm
hoping...
out. See you later.
Later, Riley.
Alright, bam! Wait, high five! No? Or do you already leave? Wow! Okay, whatever.
High five tonight.
Bam!
So I think...
I think he's Illuminati. I'm just kidding.
Oh, did Raleigh leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just left.
So yeah, I think that's what they need to work on. Is scare
He's on a secret mission going to Universal.
tactics.
Don't tell anyone.
Oh no.
We can.
Yeah, but you know, just I think, you know, I hope they can incorporate better scares.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like, it's just kind of weird. Like, Horror Nights will improve on one thing, but then go back, you know, back step, you know, 3 steps the other way. So it's just like, it's kind of just like a vicious circle. We're just kind of repeating over and over, and it's just like you improve on one thing, but then the one thing you did good the previous year, you did worse on. And it doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know if it's just the designing of the maze or if it's just the budget. I don't know. I mean, obviously, none of us will know, but.
Like I said, I think they just need to kind of look at outside sources, what kind of...
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the independent scare community is doing with their mazes. Some of them are really good and very scary. And I think Horror Nights needs to kind of see this works, this doesn't, and need to go through their files and say, all right, well,
absolutely,
this is kind of outdated now. Let's kind of kick it up into high gear.
Right.
I think that's why they need to go with it.
Yeah, I think exactly. You just need to listen to like people and get, you know, various ideas of people. I mean, just us doing like our videos and stuff, like talking about it. I think they should listen to this because
we're making some of them do. Actually.
Yeah, you know. So, yeah, cool. What's the next thing we got handed at us?
I think Aaron's mic's off.
Oh, lame. Okay, anyways. But yeah, you know,
Did you speculate? Yeah, I think with the going to, because this year is such a pivotal year of the
exactly.
Oh, hey, Aaron.
Okay, we're good.
I know this is kind of like my personal kind of want, but I really want to see a revamped version of the Asylum, kind of like how Psycho had. Yeah, because that was the maze that reintroduced Horror Nights to the general audience, and I think it would be cool as a kind of tip of the hat to 2006 that they bring it back like psychotherapy and maybe have the mazes like ghosts or something.
I mean, you know, Knots for their 40th anniversary, they brought back, like, you know, an older maze that was like a fan request, you know, and they revamped it to like how it would be now with like modern technology, because obviously every year the haunt is like increasing with technology and different tactics and things like that. So it was kind of cool to see like an old maze be revamped in previous year. So I think that'd be cool, like you said, to bring back like an old maze and just kind of redo it, make it kind of modern feel.
Bring back Clowns 3D.
No.
Oh! My guess, they might do Clowns 3D, but just change the artist, be like Alice Cooper, Clowns 3D.
It's Rob Zombie in disguise.
Yeah, right? Or they do like all three, like Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie. It's Slash.
The musician.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. They could just do like the musician with clowns.
But that's something I would like to see, is the Asylum come back in some form.
I think it would be pretty cool, and I'm hoping maybe we'll bring back like a classic maze from like maybe like you said 2006 when the event really took off at that point. You know, I think it'd be cool, or something along those lines would be pretty cool.
That would be cool to see a year where it's all fan favorite mazes come back,
Right.
but revamped some of the really big mazes like in the past, especially the Friday the 13th mazes, which were really popular. Insidious, which was our very high-rated maze.
Right.
The Thing, I would love to see come back. So
Yeah, the Thing assimilation was great.
Oh, I still love that. I mean,
Yeah, it
that scene where that chick is like running out of the doorway, and there's like a table next to you. I didn't see her, so when I turned around and I saw her charging at me, I immediately
You just stood there.
I turned right and I crashed into the table. Like,
Nice.
I was like, oh god.
If you watch, it's funny because
A+.
if you watch, I think it's Sharp Productions maze walkthrough. One of the girls that's the Juliet thing, she runs out when her mask falls off and she's smiling. She runs back.
She was like, "I'm scary. Hi." Puts it back. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, I think that would be fun to do a year.
That maze was loud. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, with the garage, they the I don't even know if it's really technically called the garage, but
the
it was
truck, right?
Yeah, it was so loud. I was like, ah! Felt like I was like in like a Slipknot concert. Just like, ah! But yeah, it's cool. But
I want to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2007.
which I was about to say, you better not say
Back in
2012.
business.
2007. I left that maze crying. That's how scary it was.
I didn't get to see it. I never got to experience those, so I can't.
I did. I wet my pants.
Everybody says it was great, and I'm like, oh, cool. I got to like see the 2012 version, and that was like great. Yeah.
That was the original.
Not really.
The remake ones were really good. I went to both years, and they were just fantastic.
See, that's when you know it's a good maze, because I hated the remake, but I loved the maze.
See, I liked both. I didn't like the remake.
Like, I didn't like the remake. I don't know what it is. It's just...
No,
Yeah.
But the mazes were good. I mean, I would like to see
I think
those mazes come back, because they, like you said, Aaron, that they're completely terrifying, both of them.
Yeah, there was one scene in Texas Chainsaw in 2007 where you walk into this like slaughterhouse and there's pigs hanging and there's like a bunch of fog everywhere, and then all you hear is like a chainsaw and you see pigs getting pushed around. I was like, oh, I'm getting out of here.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I was like, find the exit.
I just have
Did they use real chainsaws inside the maze?
Yes.
They did?
I believe they did. They just took out the chain.
They just took
Hopefully they took off the chain.
I mean, we're looking at 10 years ago, things changed. Well, not really
real.
close to 10. Yeah. No, but that'd be cool. Not really, I'm just kidding.
So, on this next thing we're going to talk about, do you guys think there will be an 8th maze this year?
For Hollywood? Yeah.
For Hollywood.
Well, because Orlando already has 8, so yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know where to really put it. I mean, my theory is, and everybody's pretty much theory is the same thing. We're going to use the Persian Courtyard or the Persian Square or whatever. And then with Harry Potter opening up, we could use the Shrek Overflow venue. We might be able to use that. So I don't really know where else we would put a 3rd maze, not unless we put it, or not really a 3rd maze, but the 8th maze, put it where? In the back lot? Because, I mean, we did have a new location where Dusk Till Dawn was, so, I mean, they may expand that, maybe put 2 back there.
One maze and then exit out into another maze.
Then again, I don't know how...
Not do that, right?
They did do that. They did that with... well, this past year they did that with Dominion, and then you go into the Tooth Fairy. So, I mean, that would be pretty interesting to like go through like 2 different mazes. It would be pretty cool.
And it would like save on space too. I
It
mean,
would.
instead of like putting them in separate areas, just keep it into one section.
I could see that. I could see them doing that. I mean, that's the only way to put it. I mean, because obviously, I know rumor is we would want to get the Globe Theater as a maze, and as a venue. It's never gonna happen. I mean, it's just no. I mean, with
It sucks because they didn't even use that venue last year for the Igor Awards. So it was just
so I
sitting
mean,
there.
technically, I mean, yeah, we could have used it, but the only thing is if we use the Shrek Overflow venue, we can use it like what they did with My Bloody Valentine, where a little bit of the maze went inside the theater of Shrek.
Yeah.
We could do that. That's the only way we would do it. It's the only way I can think of it. Because right now it's two construction over there, so that's the only way they can actually do a maze back there is do it that way.
It would also having an additional maze would actually split up a lot of the congestion inside the park as well, because it would have split people off to different mazes, and then it would help with the whole problem with traffic. Having another additional maze that you can go to.
See,
Yeah.
that's another problem is that we only have one maze in the upper lot this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
everybody is going to be going to the lower lot.
That's the thing. I'm hoping
my
that we can
plan.
use the Shrek. I'm hoping we can use the Shrek Overflow venue because I mean, obviously, we're losing a venue up in the upper lot. And if we lose a venue, then we're losing a maze technically. So Murdy's not going to go back to 6 mazes. He's either going to stay with 7 or increase.
I think they're going to place whatever replaces House of Horrors, like that venue. I think it's going to be where Soundstage 28 was.
Yeah.
Because right now that area is just paved over. They're not even doing
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, I've been hearing that we're going to get House of Horrors later on in the future at Universal, and it's just going to be like a new... I heard it's going to be an actual horror-themed land down there, but they're going to put the House of Horrors in where Soundstage 28 was. That's what I've been hearing. I mean, it's just rumor at this point, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next time you go to Universal, if you fill out one of the surveys, that's one of the things they have there.
Yeah, so I mean...
Horror Island, something like that.
Yeah, like a horror world or something like that. So
I
that's...
totally love that.
I mean, here's the thing. We took away the classic horror icons that Universal's famous for and known for, right? And it's like going to Disneyland and taking Mickey Mouse away. It's like, dude, I'm serious. It's like it just doesn't work, right? So we have to get horror icons back some way, and I do think doing a horror land, either being a horror ride or another walkthrough maze, would be really cool.
The nighttime studio tour has that Frankenstein segment, I believe.
Whoa!
That's what John's working on.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Speaking of which, since he's working on that, do you think he might like integrate the front projection systems that they're going to use for the nighttime studio tour for Terror Tram?
I think so.
Think so.
Yeah, I think so.
The Terror Tram really, and we were discussing this earlier, it really needs like a revamp. It needs to be touched up. I think some of the areas need new locations just for someone, like, because they know a lot of the returning people are fans of the event.
Right.
And we starting to see the same kind of track pace that, I mean, I know it off by heart. I could do it in my sleep, where it's
right
in the Terror Track.
Yeah, it's just like do.
We just need a new area to go to that kind of just like, oh, this is cool. Oh, there's some new areas to kind of explore. Terror Track really needs a revamp. It needs a revamp.
I agree, but I mean, I know people want it in a new location, but I mean, realistically, where would they put it?
I know.
You know, and I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying, realistically, where would they put the new location?
Jaws Lake.
I mean,
Make us walk through water.
Well, no. I mean, they
swim
have
through. Good luck.
They actually, I mean, again, if you watch,
I can't swim. Oh well.
They had the VIP tour for Insidious.
Yeah.
I remember that.
They had scare actors coming out. I mean, you could do something like that, and then go to the basic area. Like, just have something extra. It doesn't have to be a whole new track. It could just be one special area like Jaws Lake. You drop them off there, and then have them walk to that area. So I mean,
I think it'd be cool to like change the tear tram to like be an interactive thing, not like so much like you know, something like Knott's does with their extreme houses, but keep the like fans interactive and things. But the only thing that I would be worried about is the line for it, because you can only put so many people and they only can interact with so long, and now it's a second cycle. But I mean, it would be the same time, I guess, if you really think about it, for tear tram. Because, I mean, it takes about 10 minutes to walk through a tear tram if you really realistically look at it. So if you put a group through there trying to interact for 10 minutes, it would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think they could do that.
True.
That's another thing that needs to kind of get an improvement, is the VIP tour. I heard last year was crap. The Insidious one was really good back in 2013, but I heard last year was very disappointing. There was like barely anything that you got with it, and you're paying like $200 for it.
All you really got was that little scare zone nudged between the Moulin Rouge and Super Silly Funland.
Yeah. But hey, you get free front of the line. I'm just kidding. I honestly, I don't know. I've never done VIP, and I don't really think it's really, in my opinion, worth it. I mean, if you're like traveling from like across the world, I think VIP would be the way to do it. Just like to go out with a bang. Like, I'm serious. I just might. Who knows?
I want to try it once, except it's like $400. So
yeah, later. I might as well buy the 12-day pass. You might as well buy the 12-day pass and then just come back multiple times.
That's really the way to experience Horror Nights now. It's kind of a multiple day thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it like multiple days. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what do you think the VIP VIP experience would be this year?
If they bring back Insidious, I'd imagine it would do with that.
The whole Specs and Tucker thing would be pretty cool. Have the paranormal investigations, just kind of expanded experience. Because from what I saw of the VIP tour, it looked so much fun. It looked like real fun. So I would like to see kind of an expansion of that, like a fake ghost hunt of Universal, just in a different area.
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Maybe take it.
I mean, you have to think about it, too. I mean, you get to go down in the back lot, where an area where most people never will get to go.
Yeah.
You know? That's pretty cool. And I think that's why Tear Tram's so popular, too, is because you get to walk, the back lot. So, I think that's why it's so popular. Even though the theming and just the way it's laid out is garbage.
I mean, that really is the only reason people go on it. It's like, oh, hey, I'm walking on this world-famous set.
I just need to sit down for 2 seconds. I'm just going to go.
That's honestly the most thing I'm excited about, because since Springfield will be open, we'll finally have somewhere to sit down.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Springfield opening, do you think we might be able to put a scare zone in there?
I wish, just because it's such a... Because our facade is pretty amazing.
Mac Groening, I don't think has given permission to use any of the Springfield kind of aspect to put even the scare zone in there.
I mean, you have a point there.
It's the same situation with J.K. Rowling. It doesn't make sense because The Simpsons has Treehouse of Horror, and it would be fantastic to do something like that.
Right.
But because of the property, I don't think they'll have anything close to that.
Right. No, yeah, you're probably right. I was just curious on your guys' opinion on that.
Because Harry Potter has potential to have some really cool scares, like the Mentors and that, but J.K. Rowling won't give permission for Universal to use it.
Right.
Same with Dr. Seuss. Like years ago, they had at the Dr. Seuss land in Orlando, but the widow said no more of that, and they had to stop.
True. So Dr. Jimmy. What do you think? Do you think Dr. Jimmy this year is going to do his cryptic comments or cryptic performances?
Why not both?
Oh god, mess with everybody's minds.
I will refuse to do anything for Dr. Jimmy because he's too crazy. He's just too crazy for me. He's too hard. I'm just like, gosh dang it. It's like to this point where it's like it's only him that will know, you know. Obviously, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
At this point, just speculate the hell out of that. It's like
I know Psycho is gonna go crazy on him. He's gonna go crazy speculation. So we'll see what happens.
We need a Dr. Jimmy for Hollywood.
Oh, we do. It'd be crazy. Yes. Cool. All right.
I'm mostly concerned this year for how they're going to deal with crowds, just because there's going to be only one maze in the upper lot, and if one goes in stage 28, that would be 3 on the lower lot, and then 3 in the back lot.
Oh yeah, 3 in the back lot, right?
It'll be definitely an interesting experience going, and then seeing how it's changed to the point where it's
So, do you guys think there will be any shows this year in either Waterworld or special effects stages?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we got the show Bill and Ted was taken away, but the following year we got a 7th maze. So the money that was used for the show went to the 7th maze, technically, if you really think about it. So I can't imagine them doing a show plus 7 mazes. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like they took away the show, obviously, for the reasons of, you know, obviously, the complaints. But then the following year after that, we didn't have a show, but we had 7 mazes. So all that money and all the, you know, things that we had to spend for that show went probably to the 7th maze, or just in general to more productions.
Yeah.
So.
We also lost that Purge auction.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. I saw a video of it.
It was cool while it lasted, like the 2 days it was there.
Wait, cool that it was gone, or cool that it was cool? Oh, okay, I was like,
cool
dude, God. Okay, yeah.
With the Purge, you just had, in the first time they did the Purge, which was 2013, they just had people running out with knives and that. But with the second year, you had that extra segment. It was almost like Chucky's Insult Emporium. You had that extra thing to it to make it a little bit more enjoyable. Because, I mean, the Purge, let's face it, has never been a really scare zone. So if you're having something at the same time, that would actually made it a little bit better, in all honesty.
I think the Purge more was kind of like a cool atmosphere. It kind of felt realistic, because that's the thing with the Purge, the movie itself. It feels like that's something could actually happen.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not a day legally, but I could imagine people going around and just doing that. You know, it just feels realistically.
Yeah.
And it takes place in LA, so that helps.
Which I think.
Oh yeah, true.
Comes down to the fact that if they should bring the Purge back, but replace the Walking Dead on the back lot with the Purge.
Right.
There was that one scare zone in 2009, Welcome to Hell. Oh my god, that was the best.
I never got to see it. Sad face me.
you need to look up videos of that. That was like
definitely will.
Amazing.
It's
that
crazy.
was insane. I remember.
Since it's the 10th anniversary, do you guys think, like, not just favorite like mazes, but do you think fan favorite scare zones will come back?
I'd like to think so. Optimistically, I'd like to think that John would say, okay, well, this year is a special year. We should have some new stuff. We should have some more.
Yeah.
Have it celebrate the past as well as the future. And I'd like to say that some of the most popular scare zones, because that would be fantastic. So optimistically, I'm going to say yes. Cautiously, I'm going to say probably.
Yeah, it could be either way. You know, it could be like half and half. You know? It could be, you know, okay, John might go, okay, like you said, you know, he wants to, but it just maybe not work.
Yeah.
It just may not work out.
Brings back Reapers. Or Skulls, whatever it was called.
Yeah, it was Reapers.
Everybody loves Stiltwalkers.
They're not scary guys. The pigmen in Saw, when they had the pigmen down on with the chainsaws.
The lower lap.
Stiltwalkers. Let's bring back the pigmen.
Yeah, no, right? My question to you guys is, since Orlando so far has technically been confirmed about Jack the Clown, do you think Hollywood will have something to do with a clown icon, either being an original concept or an intellectual based? I was just curious.
I got that in Hollywood. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But I just don't know, because I mean, I've been hearing that Jack the Clown is just going to be in Orlando, and obviously it should stay in Orlando. I don't think Murdy will do Jack the Clown itself.
Well, he was there for 2007, 2008, so I mean, I'd like to think that Jack comes back.
But I mean, if you know, Universal released that, you know, the video after the event. If it was kind of like a shared thing, don't you think Hollywood's Universal would release that too?
To be fair, I think John would be working on other stuff that at the time. I mean, again, Mike and John have different ways of kind of teasing the audience. I mean, obviously,
it's true.
John teases on, like, he trolls on Twitter, whereas
he does.
He's more video based. So
he puts like Easter eggs, you know, that type of thing. Yeah.
So I think if they were gonna do Jack, I don't think John would make a video like Mike would. I think he would make it as a kind of surprise. The closer we get to Hollywood finally getting released for 2015, I think then we start pulling out videos of Jack the Clown. So I think.
I mean. Do you think Hollywood will do Jack the Clown then, or you're just unsure?
At this point, why sell the pin at both Hollywood and Orlando?
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it just, unless of course they're like, oh, we just got lazy, we're gonna sell Jack the Pin in both.
Because I mean, I talked to Raleigh about this a while ago, and he said that John Murdy really doesn't want to work with icons. He told me that it really wasn't his type of thing, that to work with, like, icons. That's what he told me. But
shun the non-believer.
Yeah, I mean, it could be true. I don't know.
How much I love icons. That's why.
I think it would be smart to do it, though. I think it would be really cool to do, you know, an icon.
John has to face the fact that some of the best years of Horror Nights had icons. The director. The icons really tie the event together. I mean, I've said this in my videos. They really are the central point of what makes like Horror Nights so special. Is they're exclusively those characters.
I think if there'd be an icon at our event, it would probably be either the director or what's his face, the movie theater guy, the usher.
Sure, yeah. I would love to see the director return, since he was the one that was there at the reboot back in 2006. It would make sense to bring the director back. Maybe he was behind the destruction of Stage 28. That would be pretty fun to bring him back in a new way. Like, he's still been stealing crew members off Universal's backlot. He's been making a film all these years, like his masterpiece. So you could easily bring back.
You can work with it. Yeah, you can definitely expand on the original idea and then make it, you know. Yeah.
Have the director team up with the director. That would be fun. Like, have a co-op event with Jack the Clown. Just like, Jack's doing his own thing in the event.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I just don't know if Murdy will do Jack the Clown as an actual maze. I mean, maybe Jack the Clown may be in Hollywood and we may be getting a show. Like you said, bringing back like old shows or old scare zones and stuff like that. I mean, really, we haven't really had really old shows, but I'm just saying bringing some of those things back. We could maybe do a Jack the Clown show or Slaughter World, something like that.
Actually, Slaughter World was a lot of fun. I would like
So, I mean, it could be possible.
Yeah,
just-
I think it can work. It's just really Murdy kind of.
He likes to
Kind of-
stick with
kind of does.
intellectual.
Yeah,
You know?
he sticks with IPs mostly, but I think that's why if it's like the director or the usher, something that you can tie all the IPs around.
Right. Well, that makes
Like-
sense.
Like Silver Screams in Orlando was really all the classic horror movies from Universal
Yeah.
Right.
and other classic horror movies mixed in, and I can see him doing something like that here. Just like
Yeah.
kind of our version of House of Horrors, except more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially how big a fan John is of the classics. I mean, if you've seen
Oh, yeah.
Attic, then like he loves.
Well, yeah, I mean, but obviously we know he has a really good connection to Frankenstein. You know, obviously he loves all the classic. But I'm just saying, you know, Frankenstein is what got him into horror at such a young age. You know.
Yeah. I
So
think if they do Frankenstein, I think just to make it make it scary, they wouldn't.
Hopefully, no dubstep.
No, that was retarded. It was.
wow.
But I think they do something similar to Orlando.
Frankenstein 3D, sponsored by Skrillex.
No,
Oh my god.
if they did.
It's gonna happen. Watch.
What was it? Some of the if there's any Orlando fans out there might be breaking it. There was a Frankenstein made quite early. It was along the lines of Dracula, the Dracula maze as well, and they had but they were like revamped to be really gory, very scary, very intense and mature. And I think if they did Frankenstein, it would be along those lines.
Yeah. I mean, I just see how like Universal did Dracula, and it was like based on Dracula's story. You know, it was like based on him.
Yeah.
So maybe doing Frankenstein based off his story could be it.
Because I like the aspect that the Orlando attraction did with Frankenstein, like Frankenstein and stuff like that. He's still putting different creatures together from the monster itself.
Right.
That would be interesting to see. More of a mature tale.
Yeah, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I guess only time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, we'll just have to see.
Cross your fingers for no dubstep.
Oh my gosh. Or yeah.
I went
So I think that we covered most of the bases, but just to finish this off, I'm gonna just ask one more question. Do you guys think that this is Murdy's last year as creative director?
That is the big question, isn't it?
I think so. And here's just my personal opinion. I think Scare LA, if John Murdy and Chris Williams will be at Scare LA, I think it would be really cool to, instead of but release like a maze, it would be pretty cool to bring the new creative director on stage. So the fans can ask this creative director what he or she has done, and really get to know the creative director.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool.
That would actually be pretty cool, and now they have that giant stage this year for Scare LA.
Oh my gosh, I hope so. I had a horrible spot last time.
No,
I was like, literally, I didn't even have a seat. I stood the whole time. I was like, I'm standing, punk. I literally didn't even sit. It was fun though. I had a great time.
I do think John had his run. I think if you look at it, it feels like he's unsure, but I think he will end up passing on the torch. I think he's done 10 years of great work.
Yeah, I think 10 years is great.
I think he wants to move on to other stuff. As many of us were like, oh, we'd love to have that job. I think after a while,
Yeah.
I think he wants to kind of move on from that.
Absolutely.
So I think this may be his last year.
Yeah,
He also has another kid on the way.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I think him doing 10 years and making the event as it is now, I think it's time for him to resign. And I think it'd be really cool to introduce the new creative director, you know, at Scare LA. Like, it would be really cool. And here's the thing: if John Murdy leaves, do you think Chris Williams will leave? I think so.
I think Chris Williams will leave. They're kind of like a pair.
I think
best of friends.
Right. It's kind of like they both made the event as it is now, and it's just like if one person leaves, it doesn't feel the same. So,
I mean,
totally get that.
We probably say we probably have Chris's familiar tone touches on his mazes, but we wouldn't have John's direction.
No more strobe lights.
No.
Yeah, right.
No more seizures.
Yeah, for sure.
Can one of you check the comments on the live stream just to check if there's any questions?
Oh, I have no idea to do that, so that'll be between you two, because I'm not computer savvy.
Not so far. But does anyone, before we go, have any questions?
Yeah, type it in the chat, son. Hold on, let's see.
Is Walking Dead coming back?
Oh, gosh.
It really is. It's all coming.
Yes, sponsored by Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Doritos. Alright, okay, let's see. Hold on. How do I check the comments, if anybody has commented?
I think there
I'll
was a
figure
few
it out.
comments, but of like people talking to each other.
Oh, okay. What? Okay. Never mind, I can't find it. Never mind, I fail.
I've got it. There's no questions yet. So.
Oh, okay. This whole time I'm all searching.
All right, well, hopefully that's a sign that we kind of covered everything.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
But, all right, so I guess this wraps up this month's
Cool.
live stream. My name's Aaron, and David, Tristan. Thank you for Tristan and Rowley for joining us.
Thank you.
I wanted to say thank you inviting me. It was a great time to talk about Horror Nights, and I hope I can do this again sometime in the future. It was a really fun time.
Yeah, hopefully, man, once that news starts ramping up like crazy.
Absolutely.
Once we hit,
start going crazy.
It's gonna go. Everything's gonna go into overdrive, just like.
Yeah, everything's just gonna fall into place. So we'll eventually figure it out. Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Hold up, I need to take this off the air. I'm currently on my iPad.
Cool.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so now